Hello everyone, this is Miss Selma. I hope everybody's doing well and sound. All right, this is a new lesson, and as you can see here, this is adverbs, qualifying verbs. So what do I mean by qualifying verbs? Is that adverbs, they add to verbs. Again, so adverbs, they qualify or they modify or they add to verbs. All right, what does that mean? So we already know adverbs is one of parts of speech. We have adjectives, we have nouns and verbs. So we have adverbs. Adjectives, we know from before that adjectives are to describe what? Adjectives are to qualify or modify or describe nouns. All right. What about adverbs? They are to qualify or modify or describe verbs. And sometimes adjectives too. We're gonna learn this later on. But let's focus on adverbs that qualify or modify or describe the verbs. Let's take a look on our objectives of this lesson. First thing you learn is that you learn what adverbs are and how they are used. You will also learn how to form adverbs from adjectives. Again, our first objective or goal, the thing that we're going to learn is you will learn what are adverbs and how they are used. So what are they and how to use them? You will also learn how to form adverbs from adjectives. How do you think we could achieve this? We can achieve it by adding what? We said it in a previous lesson, a suffix. All right, which suffix? This is what we're gonna know. Okay, let's move on. All right, adverbs. Now we're gonna know what they are words that modify verbs. Again, as we said, adverbs, they add to verbs. They tell us how, when, where, or how often an action is performed. Again, they tell us 4 things: how, when, where, or how an action is performed. One adverb cannot describe all of these. One adverb only describes either how, or when, or where, or how often, I'm sorry. My bad. All right, so again, one adverb can describe just one of these. Again, they are words that modify verbs. They tell us how, when, where, or how often an action is performed. What do you mean by often, Miss, or how often? Like how frequently you do this thing. For example, when you say, I take a shower twice a week. Twice here tells me how often or how frequently you take a shower, for example. All right, or how often do you wash your hands? We wash our hands very often these days, right? All right, so how shows us the manner. How shows us the manner. When tells us, of course, the time. Where gives us information about the place where the action was performed. How often is the frequency of this action, or how often or the frequency it is performed. Again, how tells us how the action is performed, the manner of this action. When tells us the time when this action was performed. Where tells us the place of the action. How often tells us the frequency of this action. right? Here, the formation of adverbs is to, okay, before we move on to the formation, let's write some examples on the adverbs of manner. All right, what are adverbs of manner? They tell us how an action was performed. Like we have an action like play, for example, skillfully. Play, he plays basketball skillfully. She draws beautifully. All right. So there are usually words that end with ly, usually, not always. Most of the time. We also have run, so easy, quickly, or slowly. Have happily, sadly. These are all adverbs of manner. He screamed happily. He wailed or cried sadly, right? Okay, so again, these words that end in ly, usually they tell us the manner. Not all adverbs of manner end with the same ly, but most of them. Okay, the majority of them. When, adverbs of time, like, so easy, and we need words. We have today, tomorrow, see, so easy. But we have to describe a verb, like. Also, like every day, for example, I go to school every day. I go to school every day. I went to the club. When did you go to the club? Today. I am going to my grandpa. When are you going to your grandpa? I am going tomorrow. So again, they tell us when the action is performed, the time of this action. Like every day I go to school. When do you go to school? Every day. As long as it answers the question when, then it's an adverb. What are you doing today? Today I am traveling. When are you traveling? Today. When are you going to your grandma? Tomorrow. We also have once. We also have immediately. It tells us the time. Immediately means right away, at once. We also have suddenly. It also shows the time. When did you see the ghost? I saw the ghost suddenly, running out of the window. All right, so suddenly, immediately, these are all time adverbs. Place adverbs like outside, inside. He's standing. Where is he standing? Inside the class. He is punished. Where is he punished? Outside the class. All right. Also here and there. He's standing here. He's having a phone call there. He's standing there talking over the phone, for example. All right, very good. So these are all adverbs of place. As long as they show you where this action was done, then they are adverbs of place. All right. I'm sorry. How often shows the frequency, as we said. So what are the adverbs of frequency? Well, excuse me till forever. Uh, yeah, I just have a little bit of a sore throat. Okay, they tell us how often or how frequent this action is performed. Like, I always wake up early. Always tells us how often. I usually drink coffee for breakfast. Usually. It ends with ly, by the way, and it tells you how often you drink coffee for breakfast. You can ask a question with how often, and if the answer is one of these words, then you're using, or any word that you're going to be using is an adverb of frequency. Excuse me again. All right, so I usually drink coffee for breakfast. I never eat fries for breakfast. So we have never, always, usually, sometimes. I sometimes eat pizza for breakfast. I sometimes eat croissant. Uh, what else? Words that show frequency. You can also say hardly ever. Hardly ever. I haven't ever been to America, for example. I haven't ever been to Switzerland. All right, so ever is one of the examples. Occasionally, occasionally, I occasionally travel to North Coast. All right, so we said sometimes, never, occasionally. There's also normally. He normally gets good marks in exams. So how often does he get good marks in exams? He normally, it's like usually. Normally is something that we can say that it's equal to usually. I hope everything's clear so far. All right. More frequency adverbs are generally, hardly ever, or rarely. They're like, yeah, hardly ever means rarely. Also, rarely is one of the frequency adverbs. Hardly ever. So again, we said the adverbs are words that modify verbs and add meaning to the verb. They can tell us how the action or the verb was performed, when the verb or the action was performed, where the action or the verb was performed, and how often is this action performed. All right, moving on, how to form. Let's go back to our objectives. We said you will learn what adverbs are and how they are used. You will also learn how to form adverbs from adjectives. Now we're going to learn how to form adverbs from adjectives. So now we know that we can change from, adjectives to adverbs through adding L. Why am I writing with the highlighter? through, excuse me, through adding ly, as you can see. Beautiful, beautifully. Slow, slowly. Bad, badly. Pay attention to this. We have quick, quickly, but fast is not fastly. Again, fast is not fastly. The adverb of fast is also fast. He runs so fast. I never say he runs so fastly. He runs quickly. He runs fast. Again, the adjective fast is not fastly, it is fast. Moving on. So, what did what the changes happened here in beautiful, slow, and bad to beautifully, slowly, and badly? Nothing has changed except that I only added. What did I add? Think. We just added ly. Oops. All right. We just added ly, and it's called a suffix. All right. I hope you're following. Okay, guys. Next, we have happy, happily, noisy, noisily, easy, easily. All right. He ran happily. He cried noisily. He answered the exam easily. All right. What changes happened here in happily, noisily, and easily? We could see here that adjectives that finish or end in y, we change the y into I and add ly, or we remove the y and add ILY. We remove the y and add ILY. All right, super. So this is how to form adverbs from adjectives. And then let's go back to our objectives to make sure that we already understood or we have actually reached our goal. You learn what adverbs are. We did. They are words that modify or qualify the add to the meaning of the verb. They tell you how, when, where, or how often this action is performed. How they are used. They are used after the verb. They are used after the verb. Except for one thing, only adverbs of frequency are not used after the verb. They are usually used before the verb. Example, again, I usually eat fries which is unhealthy, for breakfast. All right, I usually eat fries for breakfast. I don't say I eat usually fries for breakfast. You can put usually at the very end of the sentence, it's okay, but not after the verb. Unlike the adverbs of manner, I run quickly. I don't say I quickly run. Again, the adverbs of manner, time, and place come after the verb, but the adverbs of how often, they usually come before the verb or at the very end of the sentence. All right, so I'm sorry for a pause the share. That was by mistake. All right, guys, let's move on. So again, adverbs of frequency come before the verb or at the end of the sentence. I eat fries for breakfast, usually. I usually eat fries for breakfast. And usually they just come after the subject or before the verb. I, usually. He, sometimes. He never submits his homework on time. He never misses any of his homework. All right, so now we know that adverbs of time, manner, and place, they come after the verb. However, adverbs of frequency, they come before the verb. I hope this is so far clear and we already achieved the goals. Let's answer some questions on the adverbs. Here they are. How many adverbs can you spot? I want you guys to stop the video for a while. And this is what you're going to need to do. You're going to, for example, with different colors, I'll show you on a clean board, on a whiteboard, I mean. There you go. I want you to, for example, choose a red color and write how, and choose a pink color. Oh no. Okay, pink color for how, and for example, red color for when, and yellow for where, and what color should I pick? Blue. Blue for how often. Read the text. I want you to read the text that we have in the PowerPoint presentation. Stop the video for a while and then spot the adverbs that you can see. Let's go back to the PowerPoint presentation. So for example, he stretched sleepily. So sleepily is an adverb. Is it of manner, time, place, or frequency? It's of manner, and we said the pink color is for the manner. So you're going to choose the pink and underline, or any color, just red, blue, black, a highlighter, anything you have in range. All right, and then suddenly realized it was Monday. All right, suddenly, it's an adverb of time, as we said before, so you're going to underline it or write it with red color. Okay. All right, and then we have where with orange. Now I'm just gonna go back. All right, and so on. Just pick for each and every category, how a color, when a color, where a color, and just use this color to write the adverbs that you're going to find. Also, we have immediately. It's also an adverb of time. He jumped out of bed and quickly. This is an adverb of manner. Falling clumsily, like in a stupid way. And it's an adverb of manner. Down the stairs. Down the stairs, Miss Show's place. But is it an adverb? Let's think together about this. Again, down the stairs is not an adverb, it's not a word. It's something called adverbial phrase or an adverb phrase. Down the stairs is an adverb phrase. What does that mean? It's a phrase that works as an adverb. It tells you where the action falling took place. He falling down the stairs. He fall down the stairs. Again, it tells you the place of the action. However, it's not just a word. It's a phrase, an adverb phrase. He cracked his knee loudly against the banister. He cracked his knee loudly. So another adverb of manner is loudly. How did he crack his knee? He cracked them loudly. Against the banister is an adverbial phrase of place. Where did he crack his knee? Against the banister. Hurriedly, he tipped cereal into his bowl. This should be removed. I'm sorry, my bad. Hurriedly, he tipped cereal into his bowl. Hurriedly is an adverb of manner. He tipped cereal into his bowl. Where did he tip the cereal? Into his bowl. So it's an adverbial phrase of place too. Slopped some milk in and hungrily wolfed down the mixture. Hungrily is an adverb of manner too. He glanced quickly, adverb of manner, in the mirror and realized his jumper was on back to front. A silly mistake. These were all. Someone's going to ask me, Miss, is silly an adverb? I'm going to tell them no, of course, because what's the root word of this word? Silly is an adjective that describes a mistake. It's describing the mistake. It's an adjective. Plus, we said before, in order to create or form an adverb, we need an adjective. The root word must be an adjective, like beauty, beautiful, beautifully, quick, quickly. So I have no word called silly, so I add ly to it and it becomes silly. So Silly is not an adverb, it is an adjective. It's an adjective, though it ends with ly. Also, guys, some root words, for example, like friend and love, when you add ly to them, they are not adverbs. Like lovely, friendly, right? Love is a noun to which when you add ly, it becomes an adjective. Friend is a noun. When you add ly to it, it becomes an adjective. So this means that we cannot change from nouns to adverbs right away. We can't jump. We can only change from. This cannot happen. We can only change from. Let me write this on the whiteboard. We can only change from noun to adjectives and from adjectives to adverbs. Example, beauty, beautiful. Excuse me? Beautiful, beautiful. So again, we cannot change from a noun to adverb right away. You have to change into an adjective first. So the word friend, excuse me, the word friend is a noun. If you add ly to it, it cannot become an adverb, it becomes an adjective. My cat is friendly. I have a friendly cat. I'm describing the cat, I'm not describing any verbs here. Also lovely. Love is a noun, it's also a verb. And when you add ly to it, it becomes lovely. A lovely cat, a lovely person, a lovely notebook, right? It also becomes an adjective. All right, I hope this was clear, everything I discussed with you this lesson. And yeah, hope to see you next time. Hope to see you at some point this year. Goodbye. Take care.